It is March 24th. It is day 63 of the Trump presidency. And we have a lot to cover today. Mondays can be a little bit rough around here, if you haven't noticed. So the top headline today, well, at least the top headline where I'm from on TikTok, because it's the funniest headline, although there's a couple that are funny, is that everyone's calling him DUI hire. DUI hire Pete Hegseth group texted our war plans to attack the Houthis to a motherfucking reporter who happens to be the chief editor of Atlantic Magazine. His name is Jeffrey Goldberg. This was a group text with 18 individuals on the app Signal, and he had titled the group text Houthi PC Small Group. Here are some of the other people involved in the group text: J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, Stephen Miller, Susie Wiles, Steve Witkoff. I think those are all the names I have. There were also like people from the CIA. Like there's people that should not have been disclosed. Ow, sorry. The biscuits are very sharp tonight. In any case, whoops. And, I understand why people are calling him DUI hire Pete Hegseth. I don't know. Part of me almost feels like it would be better if he was drunk when he did that, because if you were sober and you did that, dude, you really need to shape up or ship out. I don't think that there'll be any kind of repercussions for him. I mean, maybe they'll say that there is, but no, there's not. I think that they'll just try to change the subject, even though it's a huge breach of national security. And I saw Mike Johnson making a statement about it. Here's the problem with this. I put lip gloss on right before I sit down here, and then my cat tries to kiss me. It's a problem. Anyways, nothing's going to happen. They're just going to say stuff and do nothing as usual. So Turkey is having kind of a crisis. Is it Erdogan? I really don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. I just know he is like the Turkish version of Trump and that they're buddies. Like he's good. He's close to Elon Musk and what's his name again? The other crazy people that think we should all be in brain vats. Anyways, Peter Thiel, like this is all part of like a little group of incels that are super besties. In any case, just like he would, Erdogan had his liberal opposition party leader, who was his main rival for the upcoming election for president. He had him arrested on corruption charges, which I think we all know what that means. You know what I mean? In any case, there have now been 6 nights of riots and protests in the streets following the arrest, and Erdogan is calling the protests evil because, of course he is. I don't feel like any of that is surprising at all, and that is just the pathway that authoritarian regimes take. It's like the same story over and over again every time this happens. It's just a guy with a different crazy toupee on each time. Anyways, I actually don't know how the markets react to this. That's one thing I didn't see, but maybe it'll be tomorrow because he might have announced this later in the afternoon. Trump has announced that he's going to be putting tariffs specifically on cars and like pharmaceuticals soon. So I think we understand even more than cars. Obviously, pharmaceuticals is incredibly problematic. It's going to kill people. I've already just told you yesterday a story about a young woman who was at the pharmacy with her mother who she needed to get medication for her diabetes, and it was $2,000. Honestly, at this point, I personally believe that people should leave if they are possibly capable of doing it, especially if they need healthcare. This is not the country to be in if you're sick. It's so serious, and it's going to get so much worse. Anyways, he's also planning to put tariffs specifically on lumber and semiconductors. That's going to like the damage that's going to do to the market is going to be unimaginable. Anyways, cheers. Trump held his cabinet meeting today with his very best friend Elon Musk in tow, and Elon was wearing a red hat that like looked like a MAGA hat, but it said Trump was right about everything. Like, is Kanye West our president? I mean, it feels. It's hard for me to process. It almost feels like being like tickled and then also set on fire simultaneously. Like, it's very funny. And it's also like the scariest thing that's ever happened. And I don't understand how those two things are like simultaneously very true. Because they are so funny. Like, these are the funniest people imaginable unintentionally. They're hilarious. And again, if this was a TV show, I would be peeing my pants laughing. But instead, I'm like peeing my pants for a vast, like just a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons to be peeing your pants right now. Jeez. So one of the things that they were discussing at the cabinet meeting is, obviously the Doge cuts, right? So Trump is simultaneously telling people, keep as many people in the department as you need. You guys have full authority to do whatever you need to do. But then, literally in the same sentence, said, if you guys don't fire enough people, don't worry, because Elon's just going to step in and do it. So if you're not able to make the total amount of recommended cuts, we will do it for you. I mean, they're nuts. So, oh well. There goes the country. They used to say, there goes the neighborhood. No, there goes the United States of America. U.S. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy resigned today, effective immediately. He was not my favorite. He had already basically done what Doge was doing. He fired a ton of people. Well, they're going to fire a lot more. In fact, Trump just last month said he wants to merge USPS with the Commerce Department, which violates federal law. Elon is saying he wants to privatize it. And literally, like, privatizing companies is the way to destroy everything. It's already been happening to real estate. It's been happening to Jo-Ann Fabrics, and I mean, just so many. It's not good. I mean, I believe those are already private companies, but like when they get taken over by these like sharky type of businesses, they just get pieced apart. Like, they get pulled apart for parts, basically, even if they were profitable. Not that USPS is profitable. They were not. They were in a lot of debt. And DeJoy did cut their debt in half. He cut it from $160 billion to $80 billion in his 5 years there, because he came on in 2020. But I think a lot of what he did to USPS made it way less relevant. And so now, they're going to take it out back and put it out of its misery. Anyways, I can't, bro. This is actually a really big deal. The Supreme Court is hearing a case right now that could affect the Voting Rights Act. 2 years ago, they sort of ruled in favor of minorities in the case, in a very similar case, almost the exact same case. But I think people are really nervous about the Supreme Court right now. They're kind of unpredictable, even though obviously it leans conservative. It's like, we don't really know what they're going to do. All right, I'm going to do my best to explain this to you. So, Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, is 30% black. There were new congressional district lines that were drawn, and they were drawn in a way that would only allow for one majority black district Louisiana as a state has 6 congressional seats. So it basically dilutes the voting power of the 30% of the black people that live there, the way that they had drawn those district lines. So because of the way that the Supreme Court ruled 2 years ago in that other case, Louisiana actually went in and drew a second black district to try to basically avoid this court case. However, the white supremacists in Louisiana were like, not so fast. And they challenged that decision. And they labeled themselves a group of non-African American voters. And they lost in the lower courts. So they brought this just now to the Supreme Court. And I guess we will find out what happens next. It's kind of weird because I feel like the Supreme Court is pretty heinous. But every once in a while lately, they're kind of like, I think maybe they realize how dire the straits are. And I don't know, like my gut says there's a little bit of hope here that maybe they'll do the right thing. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I'll just say that I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I just think it's possible. Yeah. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, there are some Republicans that are like, I don't actually want my country to be completely destroyed. But I think what's happening is a lot of people are in so deep into the Trump kingship that it's hard to back out now. And they have to sit there, like at that stupid cabinet meeting with Musk. I guess they spent like a good deal of time just like heaping praise onto Elon. Even though they all hate his guts. Like they were screaming about him at the last cabinet meeting. And now they're like kissing his ass, including, oh shit, what department? Oh, I think the literal fucking EPA was like giving him compliments. The Environmental Protection Agency. Although I'm sure, I think that was taken over by like a Trump henchman. I'm pretty sure my daughter is walking in the background in my high heels, by the way. She had a play date today and her friend came over and they raided my shoe cabinet. In any case, people are having to do really humiliating things to stay politically alive right now. I don't think it's worth it, but gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Get that money, girl. Get that paycheck. Like, I hear you. It's not a good job market. It's a hard time. especially after you've been publicly humiliating yourself and you're recognizable. You're a mini celebrity because you are part of the Real Housewives of America show that we're all watching. We're being forced to watch. I feel like my eyes are being held open with toothpicks. I don't want to see this. Anyway, yeah, so we'll see what happens with the Supreme Court case. Again, I feel like there's a lot of people that will take the jabs where they can back at the Trump administration, and the Supreme Court, I would argue, holds quite a bit of power, if not, other than like Congress, maybe, they still have some power to push back in against him. Some of the like lower district courts, you see what's happening. They're literally like, Trump is telling, what is his last name? I should have it memorized by now. Boasberg? Yes. Judge Boasberg, who is working on the deportation case. They're just like throwing wrench after wrench at him and like, calling him a woke, crazy person and just refusing to comply and answer questions. So, like, that should tell you everything that you need to know about how this administration intends to handle the law. They just won't. You know what I mean? In any case, Usha Vance, J.D. Vance's wife, has planned a visit to Greenland this week. She's going to Greenland. And separately, Trump's national security advisor, Mike Walte, W-A-L-T-E. I shouldn't touch her because then like the hair starts flying around. But of course, she deserves to be touched. He is going separately later in the week. Yeah, the prime minister, is it? I don't know how to pronounce this. Adegi. It's Agedi. I don't know. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm going to spell it. Egede. Yeah, Egede. Anyways, you try it. See if you can do it. I need Google to help me with this. Basically was like, they're not invited. No one wants them there. They're condemning the fact that they're coming. It is actually really embarrassing and weird thing to do because of essentially we're basically like threatening Greenland with a war and saying like, we're going to just like take your country. And Trump is now elaborating on that, which this is, I'm sure, the truth behind the reason why he wants to, saying that they have a lot of natural resources like minerals and stuff. And Trump says that we need Greenland for national security reasons because of that. Okay, well, I'm going to need access to your bank account, Trump, for national security reasons because I need your money. I want it. That's not how life works. That is very like bully taking your lunch money every day is what this administration feels like to me. It's just wild. And like they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't see it. He has the most snake energy. He's got a lot of snake energy. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, we're a little short tonight, but you know what? I'm just going to roll with it because, again, I'm tired. It's spring break for my daughter. This is my last week with my sweet, wonderful team that I love so much, and they announced today to the team that I was promoted, which is extremely bittersweet. And so I want to get some rest, and I promised my daughter she could sleep with me tonight so we can watch a little bit of a movie before bed. So yeah, I have really important plans after this. So let's wrap this up. But this story is, it is a classic. No pun intended. Okay, so there was a painting of Trump hanging in the Capitol building that he went on I think he was ranting on Truth Social about this last night. He went off. He lost it. Talking about how ugly he looks and how horrible he looks and how great everyone else looks. Who did he say? Shit. Was he saying Clinton looked amazing or Obama or something? Anyways, he's comparing himself to these other paintings and saying he looks disgusting. So he's losing his mind. So his boyfriend sent him a new one. Which boyfriend, you might ask? Because I know there's more than one. Vladimir Putin sent him a new painting today. So everything is better. How do you have a painting done that quickly, by the way, Vladimir? You saw his Truth post last night, his Truth Social post in the middle of the night and ordered your best painter out of bed. I don't know. That's pretty romantic. I have never had a guy do anything. Well, actually, this turned out to be one of my very worst relationships. But on a second date with one of my very worst relationships, who was actually, I don't know, I'm not going to diagnose him with anything in particular, but it wasn't good. Let's leave it at that. And I will just say, I believe he's a con artist. In any case, on our second date, I had very casually mentioned a painting that I liked. And he had contacted the artist and driven, I think, 4 hours to go get this painting. Mind you, the painting is of a pink Sasquatch. And it is really amazing. It is really amazing. I was very flattered that he did that. But that was a second date. And that probably should have been a red flag. You know what I mean? That's a little bit much for a second date, I think. But here's the problem when someone is love bombing you for manipulation reasons, or when someone is love bombing you for more puppy love because they just really like you. It's hard to tell the difference. I think I've lived enough life now. I think I can mostly tell the difference, but also I am basically a shut-in. I am dating you guys. All of my spare time, the little I have, it goes to you. And so you and I are in a relationship now. And, it's not, you don't have a choice. You're here with me. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed my stories. You should go look up the pictures, the different paintings of Trump, see what you think, which one is better. I will see you guys tomorrow.